When customers come in and visit us at the Urban Rider store in London, if someone comes in and they say they want a helmet, it's straightforward, or a jacket. But when it comes to jeans, it's really complicated. There are so many different ways of approaching leg wear on motorcycles, and it's a bit of a minefield. So we are going to do an upcoming review on motorcycle jeans and picking out what we believe to be the best of all the different varieties on offer for various riding interests. And what we have here today is something that is from one of the best-selling jean brands we've done over time. These are the UglyBROS Motorpool-K trousers. Now, UglyBROS have been a little bit of a peculiar brand in some ways in our offering because they've been one of the higher priced but lesser protective jeans on our range, and that's really interesting because most people tend to want to go for, you know, massive spec and lower prices. But if a product is really nicely finished and really comfortable to wear and just looks great, then it goes to show that people are still willing to invest in it. So with the advent of the K suffix to the Motorpool jean from UglyBROS as well as various other ones, this denotes the addition of a Kevlar lining, which is not exactly cutting edge tech, but what it does is it turns the UglyBROS from something that are really just a jean that you can wear on a bike with a bit of impact protection to a jean that actually has abrasion resistance as well as impact protection. So really a sort of fully functioning bike jean. Now, a few things to note: UglyBROS are based from South Korea, so they are not a domestic EU, UK brand. They do not have a presence here. So this whole CE approval that we have been going through with pretty much every video with all the rest of the brands that we do is not something that they have yet managed to crack. And that is purely a location-based issue. They are going through it at the moment, and we have no reason to believe that the quality of the jeans with a Kevlar lining and with knee and hip armour included at the price and so on, there is nothing to suggest that these wouldn't get at least the A level of rating, but they do not come CE approved. This is not a big issue, but if there are people out there who need that reassurance of the labelling of the A or the AA and so on, then we want to be crystal clear that that is where these jeans stand. We haven't had quality issues with them, and we believe them to be very well constructed indeed. So the jeans really stand out by virtue of the way that they look, and that's true of most of the UglyBROS range. And what we have in the Motorpool-K is probably their best-selling style, and it's quite obviously, to me, a motorcycle-inspired look. So you get the jeans that look just like your normal jeans, but you can wear on a bike, and you get the jeans that look like they have a purpose to them. And I think with the ribbing that's on the upper part of the knee section, these definitely look like they are built for a purpose, which is to ride a bike. And I really love the way that they look. They've given birth to a whole sort of range within the Urban Rider collection of other brands kind of mimicking this style. So there is plenty to choose from now, but UglyBROS remain really the leaders, I suppose, in having created it. So the jeans themselves, in terms of the fit, let's just get there first. So I would say that they're slightly on the more snug side. So as I say in all my jean videos, I am somewhere between a 32, 33 and a 34 waist, depending on the brand in question. Yesterday we did a Revit jean review and I was in the 32s. Here I would go for the 34s. I can get the 32s on in this, but as they are already a slim fit, it turns it into a skinny fit, and that's not for me. You don't need to see every sinew in my lower section of my body, and they with the stretch in the fabric, they were still accommodating enough, but my preference is definitely with the 34s here. So I guess if you're somebody that finds themselves maybe sometimes in between the two sizes, depending on brands, you're likely to need to go for the larger of the two in this case. So here I am in the 34s, and there is a lovely fit throughout. They're still relatively slim, they look tailored, and I know that some people like a looser fit, so the UglyBROS are probably not the best brand for that. They do have a slightly more fitted nature to them, and that is really helped by this stretch in the denim outer. So the outer layer itself is just a denim, it's not a Cordura denim, it's a very straightforward denim in that respect, and therefore they really do feel and look like jeans because they are, effectively. Behind that then you have this Kevlar in key impact zones. This extends down most of the front of the leg and across the seat of the pants. It's really the lower leg section where it's not, and this is a very well established aramid fibre, pretty much the industry standard for abrasion resistance. And this is going to mean that if anything does get through the outer layer in terms of the road wearing down that outer layer in the event of a slide, it's simply going to be stopped by the Kevlar. It has a very good slide time, and you're unlikely to do anything really with what these are designed for where it's going to exceed that. The trousers themselves, the styling does have some practical elements to it. So you have the two cargo pockets either side, and as we go around the back, you're going to see that you have this two rear pockets as well. You have a similarly ribbed section on the upper seat of the pant area, and that's really good because it means that you can get the belts through here join it up, and if you've got something that creates a one-piece effect, so actually Revit do something called the Safeway belt, and it's a really good accessory for just connecting this to a jacket. And as you can see, there's a stretch there, which means you're not going to have a gap at the top here. And these are slightly raised here compared to perhaps a normal pair of high street jeans. Again, because they're for use on a motorcycle, and you don't want a gap if you're leant over on your motorbike. So these come in the olive and in the black. The black is a more recent addition that we've just received, and they look cracking in both available and in stock. And the leg lengths basically hover around the sort of 33 and 34 inch leg length. There is only one available. You can't choose different leg lengths based on the waist size. And if you are a 30, you get a 33, and if you are 32, 34, you get the 34 leg. And it's the right length basically. You really don't need to fuss about. There's no real facility or need for a turn up, but at the same time, you're very unlikely to be tall enough that this is going to be too short for you. And if you are on the shorter side, then you do have the ability to turn it up still. It's not a problem. So really, there's no need to have loads of different leg lengths and kind of overcomplicate the purchase process. We don't get issues with this. The Armour on UglyBROS jeans, it is accessed via these external front top access pockets. And again, this is actually really good. It works with a jean like this that looks more dedicated to motorcycling because you've got this opening, you've got this seam going across the top. There's quite a lot of detail going on here, and having the Armour slide in and out there means you don't need to take the jeans off to remove the knee armour. And this is a big deal, making them far more practical for the urban rider use. The idea being that we want our gear to be wearable both on and off the bike and to cause us the least amount of fuss in between the transition of the two. These are something you could wear quite happily all day. It is worth mentioning, compared to the predecessor, so they're just the Motorpool without the K on the end, they do feel somewhat heavier, but that is also to say that the original Motorpool was very, very lightweight indeed. As I said, it wasn't really a very hard-wearing dedicated bike jean. These are on par with pretty much all the other jeans that are non-single layer in our lineup. So they're likely still to be popular, but the jeans themselves in terms of price come in around the £329 mark, which puts them at the sort of higher end, as I had already said. There are cheaper jeans out there for sure, but there is something about UglyBROS that people seem to really gravitate towards. So let us know your thoughts, comments and feedback, and if you have any further questions at all about anything I may have neglected to mention. And do subscribe to our channel as always to be the first to find out about the world's finest riding gear. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Goodbye.